I want to watch Asmongold's. I'm gonna have to move my camera though. Hold on. Let's move my cam. Ba, 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 ba. Here we go. Okay.
Interview though. Let's watch the interview. All right, let's do it.
Diablo 4.
Oh, okay. We just watched it, so. Oh, I'm hiding his chat. Should I go here?
It's a love letter to our fans. We've
I
really
certainly hope so, man. I really do.
Okay.
As long as it's not what I'm concerned about is Diablo 4 not being a love letter, but instead being an invoice. And I know they're gonna be like, oh no, we're not gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. No, 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 no. It's not gonna be like that. I promise, it's not gonna be like that. We'll see.
focused on this theme of returning to darkness, and we know that when we make a Diablo game, fans have a lot of expectations from D2R and Diablo 3 and previous Diablo experiences that they've enjoyed. So we know that we have a lot of things that really
Is this the same interview that I watched?
bring them into the
Probably not.
modern versions of themselves.
True.
Hi, I'm
Oh,
Dave
yeah, it
Kelly,
is. Okay,
game
no one.
director for Diablo 4.
And
What's
I'm
up?
Rod Ferguson, the general manager of the entire.
This is the guy whose tweet I mauled it out on for 30 minutes. What's up, Rod? What? How you doing, man? Yeah, this is the guy that I got mad about for 30 minutes. We meet again. Yep.
Diablo franchise, and we're here today at Blizzard Entertainment, hanging out, and we're going to talk about Diablo 4 and
Where I get the hoodie.
whole
I want the
franchise.
hoodie.
I want that hoodie too. If he gets it, I get it, okay?
Diablo
That's the
4
deal.
is really all about choice, and it really manifests in all different aspects of the game.
How?
One of the things that in the previous Diablo games that you worked with iconics, and so there was this like, oh, you're this barbarian that's known from the history or the lore of the game, and now with
I completely agree with what they're gonna say about customizing your character. I thought that was dog shit in
I think
Diablo
they-
2, Diablo 3. I mean, how you
I think
could
they say
customize
customizing
character. I
your
hated that.
skills.
player customization, you create your barbarian.
Fuck
you
yeah.
You can choose what they look like,
Fuck
what
yeah.
gender, hair.
Yeah, I like that.
makeup,
I
all
like
of that
this.
that you want to
Absolutely.
do to really truly make it your barbarian, and so you can kind of.
Yeah, I think that's great. I actually think that the Diablo Immortal character
Please have the option to remove helmets, to not show helmets.
customizer has been
That's
the
it.
best Blizzard character customizer they've ever made.
your own backstory, and then from that you're in and choosing your skills, and you
Yeah.
can choose very.
Watch the
different
Barb.
skills that
Barb
you
is fucking
that
badass
really
looking.
make it your own.
Are they gonna
There's
show it?
Diablo 3, which is great, but it sort of tied a lot of what you did to your gear, and so if you wanted to change your abilities, you just changed what you had equipped, and that's not the case in D4. That I mean, obviously gear is still very important to your build, but it's really about your skill selection that defines you, and then you take those choices into the game. The story is not.
Well, I
linear.
feel like that's a double-edged sword.
I wish they
Isn't
they
it
showed
here?
the.
Isn't it, Rod? Like, I mean, what about this, right?
I wish they
Because, like,
showed
that
the
makes-
UI.
Like, if gear doesn't, if you don't need to have specific spells with
I want to see the
specific pieces of
UI.
gear, then how will gear be interesting? Because most of the time, gear interacted with and provided bonuses to certain spells. You see what I'm saying?
So you can choose how to play out the story.
Makes me
You're
worried.
in a
God,
shared
it's so
open
fucking
world. You
hot,
can
man.
choose to go exploring instead of doing the story if you want to. You can go anywhere you want within Sanctuary and go do dungeons or go do other things and take on a world boss or go do local event. So you have choice there. And then you have PvE versus PvP. So do you want to go and take on the story?
I'm gonna
main
PvP.
content, or do you want
Yeah.
to go and fight other players? And it's one of our sort of PvP areas. And then it's who do you want to play with? Is it
I wonder if there's gonna be
solo?
hardcore in
It's
this
a great
game.
solo, but you can party up. Everything along the way is really about what you decide you want to do, and so that's why we talk about D4 is about choice, is because
I don't know.
pretty much every step along
I don't know if
the
there's gonna be
there's some
hardcore.
things that you have agency over, and you can
Is it-
select how
has-
to play the game.
They've never
love
talked
how
about
in,
it,
like,
right?
Lost Ark, you have Guardians, and you can fight against Guardians solo, or you can do it with a party. Personally, I would love if they had like 4-player challenges in Diablo 4 that were like really hard. But Diablo 4 is like not a MMO, so that probably shouldn't even happen.
This game's not gonna
I
be
just
hard.
really hope they have really hard.
It's a
capstone
Blizzard
challenges,
game. It's not gonna be hard.
like soloing Vulcan or Velganos or Verdas whenever I was in tier 1, right? Like I really love that, because like that's what really gets me excited about PoE, is to know that I'm working towards that next threshold, right? Killing Shaper, Cortex, Maven, fucking Cirrus, Conquerors, you know, all that stuff. I want to have that next thing, and that next, also really important.
He's talking about
new
PoE,
boss
which I don't know
that,
anything
like,
about
I have
it.
to go up
I
against,
don't.
and he is
I don't
a
know
motherfucker.
PoE.
And like that's why I'm gearing. Like what I'm saying is like I want a reason to get gear. Like not I'm getting gear to get gear. No, I want a reason. I want a name for that reason to get gear.
All of the classes in Diablo 4 have this sort of unique feature that's unique to just that class. And in the Necromancer is the Book of the Dead, where
I like
you
this.
decide, oh, I can have skeleton warriors. What kind of skeleton warriors?
It's kind of simple. I wish it was more complex, but it's okay.
And then, oh, you can have mages. Okay, what kind of mages do I want to use? And oh, I can have golem. What kind of golem do I want to use? And so you can mix and match your warriors.
That's interesting. I mean, that's effectively what you have with PoE, right? Is like you have fucking what's that shit that's like 2C?
It's like having different kind of pets.
Gem that turns
like
them into skeleton mages. I forgot what it's called. And then like you also have like the gem, the Jewels Last Epoch. No, that's not. That's a game. I forgot what the name of it. Dead Reckoning. Yeah, Dead Reckoning. There it is. And then also you have like, for example, like you have, I think it's Meat Shield that makes the your guardians or like your minions that are defensive and they protect you whenever you get attacked. And then you also have you know, like Raging Spirits, like summon Raging Spirits, like they're super aggressive. And so you can get a gem, I think it's like a Primordial Might or something like that makes golems aggressive. So basically, like Diablo 4 is taking a lot of the ideas. Really,
sorry, I'm not really paying attention to him. I'm more paying attention to the UI here. So 100. I don't know what that means. I guess that means level 100. Z, which is probably potions. Oh no, Q is potions. What is Z? Oh, it's probably mount. Left click, right click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Space. There's a space bar here, which I guess that means dodge.
PoE has, and they're just making it to where you can click a button and toggle them on and off. Feeding Frenzy is the gem. Primordial Might is like one of the other. Primordial Might does it for like golems, and Feeding Frenzy does it for like the one that's empowered by that gem. It's a jewel, yeah.
To really create,
that's a good idea.
Customize the army that you have with you. And you never really had that experience.
We'll see how. God, I want to get into beta. I really hope I do.
To talk about Diablo 4 being the culmination of the franchise because it wants to respect the past. Like and so when you look at kind of what.
Can I be honest?
Are really unique and interesting. I like to talk about Diablo 4.
Look at the way the character moves. Look how slow it is. Like,
or being the culmination of the franchise because it wants to respect the past.
The Blizzard looks good.
So when you,
I don't know. Like it's just it.
You look at.
It'll get faster.
What goes into Diablo 4. I like to use the formula that it feels like it's the dark.
Like this looks good.
Diablo 1.
This looks good gameplay.
It's the progression of Diablo 2. It's the visceral combat of Diablo 3. And then it has its own unique.
I mean, he said that before. I mean, not him.
All right. Straight up, like I like that. Everything he just said, I agree with.
The old
everything he just said.
The old game manager said that
from previous games too, you know,
visceral combat of Diablo 3.
I didn't play Diablo 2.
Legendary
I'm a Diablo 3
and again, speaking to that idea of having multiple builds available.
Sorry, I was talking over him.
Legendary items, and again, speaking to that idea of having multiple builds available.
They're gonna talk about extracting a legendary affix from a legendary and putting it in another legendary. I want Asmon's reaction to that. Like I want to see what he says about it.
Legendary power off an item, and move it to another item.
There,
so
like
it
this.
really
Essence
opens
transfer.
up the ability to customize your gear.
We don't talk about that enough. You know, in previous
So it's
games,
like Kanai's
you would
cube.
pick up a shield that have this thing that would make, like, can now summon 2 more skeleton mages, and you're like, oh, I have to keep this for as long as possible. My build needs those 2 extra mages.
Yeah.
And eventually your level would outpace it, and you're like, I don't want to give up the shield. I'm going to carry the shield even though it's weak because I want this ability. And now in
Yeah.
Diablo 4, you can actually extract that off the shield, get a new legendary that's at your level, and put that onto it. And so that idea of being able to hold on to your build and be able to truly customize your character by
I guess
taking
that's
legendary
cool.
powers and
I was yeah, I guess that's cool. Thinking more about it is definitely a good idea, I think. I'd have to I'd have to try it out though. I don't know. Would have to see if people are going to do the same thing. I don't know.
extracting them from one thing and imbuing them into another. That fundamentally changes the build system.
That's really big, honestly. Like, I feel like what I worry about with that, I think it's a good idea. They should do this. But, like, for example, I feel like, yeah, it's like for free. Like, yeah. So it's like, would this hurt, like, item progression and make item progression more flat where you don't really get, like, a big bonus item? I don't know. I think that, like, Diablo 4 is going to live and die on, like, 2 or 3 things. Itemization. Itemization in PoE is why the game doesn't die. It's because the itemization has so much depth and there's so much into it and, like, character customization is that you can literally, like, I will watch a 30-minute video of a build guide and the only thing the guy shows is a fucking spreadsheet. That's it. And that's why people get invested into it. I don't think Diablo 4 should do the exact same thing. I don't think it should be that in-depth because PoE already does that. They do it way better. But Diablo 4 should have simpler decisions that still have very big impacts. On top of that, it has to do with the end game, right? But mainly what I'm talking about here is the items have to be really compelling and really interesting and fun to use, and acquiring them has to feel really good. Like, getting a really good item in the original Diablo 3 was like, you would bust a fucking nut if you dropped a ring that had crit chance, crit damage, and attack speed on it. Like, holy shit. Because you knew that would sell.
Can't sell that anymore.
So one of the things that's really exciting about Diablo 4 is that because we have this shared open world, that
I wish they talked about trading and
dungeons
stuff like
are
that.
actually in places in the world that you're going to explore.
You can talk about dungeons.
Those gives
Are
those
they open
dungeons a real
world?
sense of place. So when you go into a particular dungeon, you're going to see the tile set that's associated with that dungeon.
Yeah.
That type of art. And we have a wide variety of art.
I like that.
For these.
Cool.
And you're also going to see the monsters that live in it. But
Yeah.
when the dungeon rolls, it is randomly generated within those parameters. The monsters will be differently configured.
Well, I think that that's common sense, right? It's the same as, like, whenever, like, I would do Act 1 Butcher runs a lot because I was too shitty to do Act 3 for a while. And every time that you would do it, it would be a little bit different. Like, you would have an idea of what the layout was going to be, but it's like you had different tile sets every single time. Yeah, it's just like Diablo 3.
You're going to see different champions, you're going to see different outfits,
Diablo 2 is the same too.
and you're going to see a different layout for that dungeon. On top of that,
So
Well-
it's the same thing that you guys have been doing. Okay.
each dungeon has
Crazy.
a dungeon objective. So when you go in, you might have an objective to slay a boss, but you might have an objective to track down 3 fallen idols and disable them. And so the completion objective for the dungeon is unique to each dungeon as well.
I think that one of the problems with Torghast is that whenever
Torghast?
the main thing I don't like about Torghast right now is that you have to kill every single mob in order to get, like, 100% completion if you want to go for 5-star. I don't like that.
That sucks.
I hope that they don't go down the route of trying to make the player kill everything or go down different nooks and crannies they would not necessarily go down in order to fulfill some bonus objective that just makes the player explore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, for example, like in Path of Exile, you never really want to do that because there's a lot of, like, interest in each different map, etc. But I just really worry about, like, having to feel like you need to explore all these different areas and it turning into like a time wasting activity. Yeah, looking for the last mob or something like that. Yeah, looking for the last, you know, like fetish totem or something like that. It's like, oh fuck, right? I've got to run around like 2 or 3
That I
times.
hate that.
Very annoying. Theoretically cool, in practice.
Diablo 3 has that
It's
too.
fucking annoying.
And one of the things I really like when we play is that you go in and
Kill
you don't
every
know the
mob in
objective,
this
like, there's not
map.
some magical person at the door telling
And
you,
then
by
there's,
the way,
like,
how you
one-
complete this. Like you have to go in.
Kill every mob in this map, and then there's like one fucking kill board across the fucking map that you missed. You ran past it, you missed it. You got to go back. So stupid.
And discover the objective, which is really fun. And the dungeons actually play really well into our end game, right? Where you now not only do you have the dungeons that you're doing when you're playing through the campaign regularly for, say, new gear or a particular thing, but at the end, all of a sudden, you have nightmare dungeons. Where did you want to talk a little bit about like the sigils and that?
You can upgrade the dungeons with these sigils to make them nightmare dungeons, and they become more dangerous. Additional affixes are applied to them that make the monsters more dangerous, or can even give you advantages.
Right.
And when you're
That's interesting.
getting these sigils, you'll get a wide variety of sigils with.
I really like the idea that the players actually get something out of it as well. Where it's not like, oh, all you do is you lose stuff. I like how you actually get positive things as well. They're like crests, yeah. They're the eternal legendary crests. How much for them? You're going to have to find out. It's a surprise.
All kinds of different affixes on them. So there's, once again, player choice in which sigils you want to do. And if you get a sigil that is for a dungeon that, you know, is not as, you don't think is well suited to your class, you just skip that one and do a different one.
Nightmare dungeons.
Skip that one. How about sell it, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to fucking skip shit. I want to be able to sell it. Whenever I get something really good for another class, and it's not good for me, I want to still feel like I got something good. Like, why would you? I mean, just skip, bro. Like, what about selling it? Why they didn't talk about this?
Of our take on rifts.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point.
There would be.
I wonder if you can sell it.
And you just go to it and it opens a portal and off you go, and you're standing in town, going to it over and over. And now we have these nightmare dungeons which is kind of like running a rift in a way, but it has a sense of place. So now you have keys, and so Joe has sigils, I have sigils, and we're like, okay, where do we want to go? Like, we have to go somewhere now, and like, okay, let's mount up, get on our horses, and we're gonna ride west, and because that dungeon has a particular type of loot that we want to have.
Dude, look at this area, dude.
I don't really see as much value in that as maybe they perceive. I think that getting on the horse and riding over there, I think that you should have to do that. Like, you can make an argument that like maybe you should have to do that for like the really hard versions, right? Just to make it more of an endeavor, right? But like to add RP to it. But the truth is, like, WoW doesn't really have that. You know, you got summoning stones. Lost Ark doesn't have that at all. Final Fantasy doesn't have that at all. Path of Exile doesn't have that at all. You just do it through the map device 9 times out of 10. It's just, dude, it's not an MMO. Why would that matter?
I would
Path of Exile.
I would prefer that you actually head there. Check your map, open your map, and be like, okay, put like a checkpoint or whatever, and be like, okay, we got to go there, and then start riding with your mount, and then, cause there's gonna be stuff to do, man. There's gonna be like, hopefully, I don't know. There's gonna be like a quest on the way to get to that dungeon. There's gonna be quests there. There's gonna be like maybe like a hidden chest that you could, you know, there's a lot of exploration to do. I don't know. It would be.
Either.
I'd like it. I would like it.
Unnecessary travel time to something does not.
It's not gonna
make it
be
a better
unnecessary.
experience.
I hope
Diablo
it's not gonna be
3
unnecessary.
Was not bad because you did rifts in the city all day. Diablo 3 was bad because you did rifts all day. Does that make sense? That's why it was bad.
And so I
It's
love
both
that
bad.
New World
Tried that.
Not just grabbing a portal in town every time.
We know
Go
that
outside,
it's
touch
fun
grass,
to
dude.
build your
You don't want to
character
stay in
and
town all the
discover these
time.
powerful builds. And we also think it's really important to have content to test yourself against. So we've really tried to expand.
Look at his bad boy, dude.
The variety of activities, and you know, as Rod said, the game you know, when you finish the campaign,
It's a giant
you
goblin.
might be level 45 or something.
Okay.
Your character level goes up to 100 through,
Oh, wow.
through Paragon points, and you get access to, to Whispers,
okay.
you get access to Nightmare Dungeons, other endgame activities that, that we're still working on.
Okay.
We really wanted you to have a wide variety of things to do. And of course, you've got world tiers that are allowing you to step up make sure that the difficulty of the world stays on pace with the power of your character level.
How do you guys feel about that? Like, because there's a part of me that likes that, and there's also a part of me that's like, I like being able to go back to a boss that I fought before and just one-shot him. You know, like, I do. I like that. And it's just, like, I'll wait to see what the game is like, right?
That's like saying that's like having your, okay, I'm gonna give a Diablo 2 example. That's like having your level 84 barbarian go in a normal difficulty and then going in Act 1 and killing Countess. That shit's not gonna, that boss is not gonna drop anything. It's not just like he's not gonna drop anything. It's like there's no point. You want to fight Countess in hell. So I don't know. I'd much have it difficulty increased than not increased. Yeah,
But
I don't know.
yeah, it's like you don't get that point where, like, for example, you remember back in like Diablo 3, did any of you guys have like a really, really good character in Diablo 3 and you could do Inferno and just fucking like pretty much like one phase Diablo and like just one like kind of combo of attacks, or like fucking kill the butcher in like 3 or 4 seconds?
People in the chat
That
saying
was
yes.
so-
I guarantee they've never fucking finished Inferno in Diablo 3 Classic. I guarantee. Dude, even I never finished it. I couldn't. I was playing hardcore. I couldn't. Fuck, I'm not Kruparian here. I'm not gonna be able to finish Diablo in Inferno on hardcore. I'm not that good, dude.
So fucking fun, right? And so you still need to make sure people can get to that level. I think that's super important with the Diablo game. Same with PoE, right? Like, that's what I love watching, like, speed kills for bosses.
And to unlock those, you actually need to complete a dungeon to access that more difficult content. So it goes back to the idea of making a build, making it powerful, and then testing yourself.
I bet this world boss is gonna be so fucking easy.
So a Paragon system,
It's just gonna be a
if you played this,
pinata
you know
system.
the Paragon
Yeah, we
system
know
in
about it.
Diablo 3, but it was just basically sliders and on a couple of different aspects of your character. In Diablo 4,
The Paragon system wasn't bad. The reason why it turned into being bad is because the scaling got so high that all of the Paragon levels were a formality.
an actual board. That, think of it as a checkerboard. It's
Holy
much more
shit.
granular than that, but for simplicity's sake, I'll say a checkerboard. And you have to navigate your way by sort of unlocking squares as you move across the board. And each of those squares could be +5 strength, or a different ability, or something that enhances your skills.
Yeah.
And so you're able to click these different boards together and make your own path through. So that's well, one of the things we really like about Diablo 4 is that even if Joe and I both were creating a barbarian, and even if we both wanted to be whirlwind barbarians as an example,
I like that.
we could still have completely different builds, and that's what really makes, I think, Diablo 4 unique, is that we're not ending up at the same place. You know, there's a lot of games that when you're done, everybody's the same, and that's not the case in D4. And so I think people are going to love the new Paragon system. That idea is so much more.
I'm really worried about that being the case. And like, I think every game has this happen. It's like, and like PoE is no better than this. Like, if you go to PoE Ninja, like, I'm just going to show you real quick, okay? PoE.ninja. Let me show you guys. And this is just what the builds So like 21% of people are champions, 0.6% of people are tricksters, 19% are necromancers, 0.8 are assassins. So what does that mean? That means that metas are formed in literally every single game.
Like I said
Hardcore
earlier,
League,
yeah.
let me see. Can I change hardcore? Oh, it's just Sentinel. Okay, yeah. Let me change it. Oh, it's even worse. Inquisitors 20 and Tricksters 0.2. So you're always gonna have metas, etc. I don't think that the goal that they should be to not have metas. The goal should be to have the game evolving regularly. That metas change.
Yeah.
Richer than we've ever had before as a Paragon system.
You don't want to
really,
be a
when you
whirlwind
see the two
barbarian
things you work
forever.
for, you really want to find that
You
optimal path
want
across the board, and then when you go to connect the next board, you can actually rotate it to pick the path you want to go through. Like it's a really cool system.
There are also glyphs that you can socket into the board, and you can upgrade those by completing Nightmare Dungeons. So
I like that.
Really,
yeah,
a
that's
lot
cool.
of diversity available within the builds themselves. And because Diablo 4 as a live service will be continuing to balance the game so that we can make sure that there are always a variety of builds that are viable and you're not focused into only one.
That is very reassuring to hear. Now, it will be more reassuring to actually see. We'll see if that happens. But yes, that's super important for them to do, to just be continuously changing things up.
adding new
Have,
content.
like, seasons with like a full gear reset or what? I'm not really sure yet. I don't know if even they're sure yet. Probably depends on what happens on release. A ladder, yeah.
There's a lot that we're looking at doing for post-launch. Like we have a lot of plans when you think about
Okay.
in terms of seasons, but not the way that seasons are for Diablo 3. There's a sort of a twist on that. And we do want to continue to expand the world and tell new stories and continue to tell stories that are happening within Sanctuary. So I think people are going to be really excited about, what kinds of content and features and things they'll be able to do post-launch.
I'm excited for
That's one of the
PvP.
things we really learned a lot. I think a lesson from Diablo 3 is that we've had, like I said, we've had great success with the seasons in Diablo 3. We're still millions of players come back and play for hundreds of millions of hours, but we know that they want more, and that's
That barb is destroying
yeah,
everyone.
people want new content out of the seasons. I think that's a really big factor. Like, that's certainly what I want. I want a lot of new content out of the season, same as I get in PoE or another game.
Definitely,
like
big true, big true. I want a new content every season, new content. Add a new boss or something,
What I'm worried about, I'm gonna be honest,
or new
I'm
dungeon.
worried about it being pay to win, and I'm just gonna come out there and say it. I know they've said that it's focused around cosmetics, but who's to say you can't sell the cosmetics? Who's to say you can't buy and sell gear on an auction house? Who's to say you can't buy and sell gems, right? There's always going to be some sort of a way for that to happen. I am so fucking paranoid about that, especially after Diablo Immortal. I'm okay with them selling cosmetics. If this is a one-time purchase that they are continually updating,
And
I
it's
think
sold
that it
down.
is unreasonable for people to not expect them to sell cosmetics. But if these cosmetics have any sort of a in-game advantage, right? Whether it be 1% strength, the same as they have like even virtue points in Lost Ark. I don't want to see any of that, right? Yeah, who cares about cosmetics? I do care about them.
I care.
It's just a reality of gaming.
I think it's gonna look
It's just a
cool.
reality.
so much Diablo is coming now is that we're actually able to sort of help satiate some of the fan desires, and what they're really going to get.
Plus, if the game is good, I would definitely buy cosmetics
All right,
and
Joe,
support the
thanks for hanging
team.
out, talking about D4
Definitely.
And the franchise.
That's what I'm really curious about.
That's it from us. So I hope you stay tuned. We have lots of stuff to talk about coming up, especially more D4.
He has a lot
That's
to
great.
talk about. Okay.
Cosmetics just means non-shop armors will not look good. PoE has that. Like, would I care? Like, here are the things. I would actually not, like, I've spent probably at least a few $100s on PoE, like, throughout my entire, 10 years of playing the game. I don't regret that. I have no problem every once in a while buying a cosmetic pack for Diablo 4 if they bring out something that looks really cool. I don't care about that.
Same.
It's not a big deal to me. Is it something that I would prefer didn't exist? Yes, it is. I wish you could get everything in game, etc. However, if
We don't
if
live
you're
in that
not
world
charging
anymore.
money, you have to fucking get the money somehow. So yeah, I mean, if you want to pay people to keep making a game, yeah, sure, you can keep doing that. It's fine. And like, am I the same way? Of course, you're a millionaire. You don't need to be a millionaire to buy fucking a $5 fucking skin, man. They're 20 nowadays. Well, let's say it's $20. There's a lot of people that can afford $20. All I'm really trying to get at here is that Diablo 4, I would have no problem supporting the game in the same way that I support PoE by occasionally buying microtransaction stuff. But I don't want the microtransactions to be cannibalistic towards the base game. And I also want the content to be released and new content to be released regularly. My main concern
Like
with
I
Diablo
said,
4
if the
is
game's
that
good,
the game will
I have no
only,
problem
like,
paying
surface
for
level of customization,
microtransactions.
and it will also not have an expansive end game, and it will not be properly maintained. Those are and it will be pay to win in like some abstract way. Like, those are the main things that I'm worried about. That's the way. That's where I'm at. What do you guys think about that? Check out Path of Exile microtransaction packs. I've seen a lot. Our experience booster's okay. I would prefer if they did not do that.
Yeah, no.
Buying cosmetics is understandable. Buying things that negate the amount of time others have put into grinding is bad. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's like,
if they add XP boost in the game, that means their game is dog shit. It means like rush to the end as fast as you can. Why would they do that? Why would they? It's not good. It's not good for the game if they add XP boost. Now games like Rainbow Six Siege, where there's XP boost that makes you level your battle pass faster. Sure. I mean, I'm not gonna pay for battle pass. I have never paid for battle pass. I think it's a waste of money, in my opinion. I don't see anything worth in battle passes to make me want to pay. I don't know how much money it is. It's probably it's like a $30 or I don't know. It's not for me. Battle pass is not for me. Stupid.
have an option, basically, like, here's what the problem is whenever you have the option to can do this in game or you can buy it, it provides a profit incentive.
Hey, what up, dude? What up, Cell?
For the developer to keep the end game option bad because it incentivizes more people to spend money. So whenever you have pay to skip mechanics provide.
I've been talking about. I've been watching. I don't know if you just arrived, but I've been watching the Diablo 4 interviews and reading the quarterly update, and now I'm watching Asmongold react to the interview that I watched earlier, and now I'm reacting to him.
For developers not to improve their game. So that's what really worries me. I'll look at a few more of these here, and a few more of these trailers, and then afterwards we'll watch the. Well, actually, I said watch the Amber Heard interview. We'll watch that in just a few minutes, okay?
No,
but,
I don't care about that.
No way executives will accept minimizing short-term profit just to keep the game healthy. We'll see what happens. It'd be worrisome if you could trade cosmetics for non-cosmetic in-game items. Exactly. Oh my God, there's a lot of them. Time is a hidden currency. Exactly. So if you can negate time, I think that's the worst thing, right? And I like Lost Ark has this. Many games have this in the Sucks Tubes video. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. Very same problem with cosmetic boxes. Gives an incentive for developers to focus on developing skins instead of actual content. I agree with you, but I think the people that are developing skins are like art developers, and the people that are developing actual content are like, it's a different job title, basically. So it's like, it's true, but not entirely. This is a 4K trailer.
Is this a Necromancer trailer? No. I've actually missed all the details of the Diablo 4 controversy. Wait, what controversy? So they're saying the game manager or game director, no, not the game director, the Diablo director, tweeted out that that all well no wait he said like most of the microtransactions are going to be anchored around cosmetics. So people have been reading in between the lines and thinking that it's not just going to be cosmetics, it's going to be other pay to win stuff. So that's why there's like probably controversy about that. Oh my god, don't even make me start with Diablo Immortal. Holy shit. That game is not a game. That is a slot machine with the name Diablo on it.
Generation of action RPG, melding monster slaying and loot collecting with a fully realized.
Should never have been released.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's gory and unnerving. It's creepy.
Diablo 4 is all about player choice.
It takes all of the
I think
pillars
that part's
of the Diablo
cool.
game and just expands
I like
them
that weapon.
with all of the new features that people really love and appreciate in modern games.
That's the druid, obviously.
Whoever you see yourself being, you can create in Diablo 4.
It's important to include.
See, I always wonder, like, what's the day-to-day? Like, that's kind of, that's always the way I feel about games. Is like, I feel like Diablo 4 will be fun to play for at least a week or two. Definitely. But, like, what about, like, a month after the game comes out? Like, is this a game that, like, I can expect to play continuously? Or is this, like, a one and done? And, like, a one and done is fine.
I hope
but,
it's
like,
not a one and done.
Want to know.
I hope it has a long life.
Because then I can play the fantasy that I want to play.
But who knows?
It allows you to switch around your playstyle as well.
I think that's cool.
Look at that, dude. Fucking Venom Lords are back in the game. Hell yeah.
It freezes them, then it
Everything
kills them.
feels very powerful and fun.
Cleave.
I'm
One of
so
the really
worried
cool
about
things
it being
having
bad.
an open world is your journey that you take throughout Diablo 4 is your
I'm scared that the Barb is not gonna be good. He looks the most slow compared to the other characters. The other characters can just like dodge and like teleport around and do skills. Barb just seems slow. I don't know.
I think an open world is super important, but I hope that what they don't do is that
They're
what
not
they did
aiming
with
for
fucking
one and done.
Diablo
Yeah,
Immortal,
but
where there are servers.
we'll see
Like,
how
those
it
are-
is.
there
Yeah,
doesn't
I
need
know
to be
they're I know they're saying like, oh, we're gonna keep adding content after launch for sure, but it depends what kind of content they really. If it's going to be something like Diablo 3 where like, oh, seasons after seasons and it's like the same thing over and over, then it's gonna be one and done.
Any fucking servers. You can have like clusters and shit, but in my opinion, I think auction houses and everything like that should be completely universal.
I suspect no, it's not gonna be like rifts. So instead of rifts, they're called nightmare dungeons. So you're going to use like a sigil that has like different affixes and stuff, and then you put it in the dungeon, and then the dungeon becomes a nightmare dungeons, and the dungeon becomes it's like more difficulty. So yeah, the nightmare dungeons are basically rifts, but we'll see. I don't really. We'll have to try it. That's the thing.
Like auction houses, you should be able to like if you go on the auction house on one area, you should have the auction house everywhere.
I like
You know,
slow
it
when
should
it's
be
made
like a
impactful.
region-wide thing.
I mean, I'm just saying like
Yeah,
slow
I don't want
and
people to be on a
Got
dead
almost
server, man.
150 dungeons
slow
in the game.
slow in
what I
like
worry about.
PvP.
There's all kinds of
I don't want to be slow when I'm
stories.
fighting sorcerers that can just teleport everywhere and
Strongholds
stuff.
are an enemy territory that you You
That's
need to
cool.
reclaim it.
Like in Diablo 2, where teleports, Sorks just teleport, and then Blizzards
Yeah.
teleport Blizzard.
After you cleared it out,
The evil in this place. has
Barbs are
been
just like
cleansed.
sprinting everywhere.
it's
And
a
it's,
friendly town.
I feel like I'm clearing out the mud flats again,
Sometimes
whatever
it's
that
a new
place is
town,
in PoE.
Sometimes it's a new dungeon. There's a whole bunch of rewards that you get, and you have
Like
a
that
real
dungeon,
impact on the
like
world as
just a
result.
sec. Fuck. That looks like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I've been super negative about Diablo 4, but that looks really cool, man. That looks really cool. Like the aesthetic of it and everything, I like it a lot.
Bunch of rewards that you get, and you have a real impact on the world as a result.
I will say that, like, my complaints and concerns with Diablo 4, none of them have to do with the aesthetics. I think that most people, almost everybody I've talked to, has agreed on the aesthetics and the way that the game looks is perfect. I love it.
No, you can't leave us here. They might come back any moment.
Local events are really cool little story segments that happen within the open world.
You'll just be running through the world, and then a local event will pop up, and you can choose to participate in it.
that snake skill
a
is
fake.
pretty cool.
Together and just wail on these like giant world bosses, or get a group together and just wail on these like giant.
I really hope world bosses are tough to kill.
Or get a group together and just wail on these like giant.
I don't want it to be a loot pinata where it takes like 5 seconds to kill and then everyone
Okay.
takes loot and leaves.
Maybe I'll play it.
And you really have to work together.
Yeah, maybe I'll play it. It's not gonna be that bad.
See all the players on your screen collaborating, trying to take this big monster down. It's epic.
I can't imagine these fights being anything more than a target dummy. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I expect that
I don't
these
know.
fights are just gonna be like a WoW world boss, or like a Lost Ark world boss, or like yeah, it's a health sponge, like every other game.
The art in this game looks really fucking good. It looks a lot like Diablo 2 with better graphics. There was a I don't want to go back to it, but there was like a no, not there. Anyways, there was like a screenshot. I don't know if it's like a screenshot, but it had like corpses hanging from like a tree and decapitated bodies and stuff. It just reminded me of Diablo 2, the Loot Ghislaine Palace. When you go inside the Haram, is it Haram? I forgot the name of it. Herod? I don't know. I forgot the name. There's you know what I'm talking about. There's like there's a bunch of like the first level is like clean, right? There's no blood, nothing. And then you go more down and down, and it becomes like all like blood everywhere, and then there's decapitated bodies and like tortured. It just reminds me of that. It's so cool. I like it. Harem, yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. And maybe there's like hard modes for them. Well, the thing is, like, it's really hard to make a boss like this whenever anybody can come in
And it's open world.
and it's not limited to the amount of people, right? Like, how do you tune a boss that like 5 people or 55 people can fight?
A lot of coding. I don't think they're gonna do that.
It's so easy to create a community. It makes the
I think world
more of
bosses
a
are gonna
social
be
experience.
easier and easier to
I
kill.
really agree with that. Thank you, Emerald. I completely agree. The fact is that seeing other people out in the world in Diablo Immortal is cool too. Like, I'll admit, like, it's a cool thing.
But you
It's
never
great.
interact
I
with
hope
them.
that they do more of this. I love having open worlds where you can explore with other people and you see other people playing the game. In my opinion, I think it's necessary. That's why I love online gaming.
We've got fully enabled crossplay.
If you have an Xbox and your buddy has a PC, you're going to be able to group up.
Or you could play couch co-op.
That should be the norm. Every game now, like, I hope that every game that comes out where it's possible, not every game, it's realistically not possible with every game, But for all the games that it is possible, I hope that
Crossplay.
every single one of them are completely compatible crossplay. Like Xbox, PC, PS4, PS5, you can play, do whatever you want.
I think there's the technologies there to
People
do
on the
that.
couch can sit there and have a great experience.
Yep, I like that too.
We've created specific zones where players.
I will admit that I have to be hyped about the idea that this is essentially a Diablo 2 MMO. Yeah, I
If you go there, you can start swinging away at people.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
But you're also opening yourself
The
up to
looks,
being
it is. The
smart.
gameplay, I don't know
shit,
if it
really?
is.
Damn, bro, is that how it works?
Really, really good. The game actually marks you as like.
Bro, somebody been playing Elden Ring.
If you're like really, really.
Y'all
good.
see that? Y'all see that Radon shit right there? Good. Good.
The game actually marks you as like a champion on the map. You basically become a Luke Pinata, and everyone wants to chase you down.
That barb just leaped. That was cool.
I hope that they make the PvE good. I don't really like
PvP. you mean.
Diablo, like PvP, like yeah, they could balance it pretty well, but like I don't want them to like overbalance the game. I want you to have like if you have really good gear in the game, I feel like Diablo is a game. It's like they should have arenas where like people are pretty much standardized, but like out in the open world, you should be able to deep dick people. I think so.
That story mission is really the
But only out in the
beginning
world,
of
like
a
not
whole
for
different
like any
part of
sort
the
of like
journey.
serious like
Now you're set
important
up
shit.
for the end game, and that end game is rich.
Why are you nervous about that? It's just a blood
So
wave.
that's what I'm worried about.
I think
is
it's
the
a
end game with
necromancer thing.
Diablo 4.
Yeah, I'm
so
worried about
worried that the
end
game
game.
is
Yeah,
going to
me
be-
too.
There's like
I hope
there's
it's-
150 dungeons.
I hope it's good.
And there's really only 6 that you want to do, and you just run those 6 until you quit the game. That's what my concern is. And
I think you
those
can do
6 have
all
the
of them.
Same different things over and over and over. It's gonna be rifts, yeah. Like Diablo 3's endgame is so fucking terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible.
It makes me sick to think about it. If I go back and I think of like, why is a game like Lost
It's really
Ark
bad.
a good game? Why is a game like World of Warcraft a good game? Why do I enjoy those games? Final Fantasy. It's because it provides you with like a very large breadth of content that you can do. Right? You can do crafting, gathering, world quests, raids.
Well, that's a
Like, you can do
necromancer skill, which
this
I'm
different
never
sort of
going
stuff,
to
right? Like
play.
amount
So
farming, etc. Like farming for like
I
rare
don't give a
items
shit
and shit like that. And, like,
about
completions and
necromancer
content.
skills.
I feel like with Diablo 3,
I'm gonna
there
put-
was,
I'm gonna
like,
play a
only
barb
one thing to do at the end
And
game.
barb only.
And that
Maybe a
was it.
sork.
And like Path of Exile,
I
did
think
a
I'll
great
make a
job
barb
with
and
this
then a
too.
sork
Like the
for my
gameplay
alt.
that you get out of, let's say, doing Delve is
But
very different
I'm not
than the
interested
gameplay
in,
that you
in
get out of,
rogue.
let's say, doing Heist,
Not
which is
interested.
very
I guess I'll
different
make
than
a
you get out of doing
druid.
Uber
I do want to
or,
see how it is.
running special like
But necromancer.
trying to collect
actually,
divination cards or
I
anything,
might
right?
play all of them.
Like,
I don't
so
know.
The
We'll
more
see.
different types of gameplay you have,
But
in my opinion,
barb
the
first
better
for
kind of
sure.
game,
Second
because you
sork.
give
I don't know
people more
about
different things
after.
they can cycle through before they burn themselves out.
Whether it's new items or new dungeons or new
How
paradigms,
tiring does it
every
get
single time you come
hammered
back to
in
play
while you're
Diablo
playing
4,
your
there's
barb?
going to be new stuff for you to experience.
It's like
On
y'all saw this
D2?
talent tree, right? I mean, like this looks really cool. I don't know what this is gonna be. I have no idea. Like,
I mean,
I'm not
I don't
gonna
know.
Get too
I don't-
excited about something like this, but it does.
How tiring does it get to see Hammerdins while you're playing barb? Do you mean like in PvP or PvE when I'm grouped with them and doing like Chaos Sanctuary? I don't really mind for PvE. For PvP would be kind of shit because you can't really do anything as a barb. You can take like one or two, or no, you can definitely take one hammer as a barb, but I don't know if you can take two. Thought you were playing it? Oh wait, 2 more ads. No, I'm not playing it. I'm just reacting.
Does look cool.
Every single time you come back to play Diablo 4, there's going to be new stuff for you to experience.
Yeah.
And it's something that we're going to support for years to come.
That's the lie. that I'm worried about. I think that that's what is not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not playing it. I wish I was. I'm just reacting to Asmongold right here, and that's reacting to the trailer. I don't know if it's a trailer.
Happen. I'm so worried about Diablo 4 coming out and the reception.
Wait, who's
for it
quiet?
being mediocre, or it being really good, and then, sorry, I had it's in my fucking mouth. And then like after
So
the
what
reception
is
like,
Diablo
pretty
back?
good,
Well, the guy sounds quiet. Oh yeah, it's probably because my.
then the game just kind of tapers off. You know, they release like a few like meaningless content updates that like doesn't really, it's like it gives you a reason. It's like, oh, you didn't like doing all 6 dungeons over and over again? Well, this week, then now it's going to be a rotation of all six of the 150 dungeons. You just run those over and over again. It's like there's no real like dynamic gameplay changes that happen. And that's what I would really like to see change. I think that's what Path of Exile.
Hey, yeah, I remember you, man. Don't worry, I didn't forget who you are. I remember you. I remember mostly everyone that comes back here. Comes back. It's you. It's the other cell, and then Crit, or yeah, Crit comes back. Cappy comes back sometimes. That's about it. Just those. Them.
Style has
been
mastered
a long
over
time.
the years, and that's what a lot of successful like continuous online games have, is very, very different breadths of content.
Sorry, I'm gonna lower the volume a bit because he's
Giant Up being sued again? Remind me after this.
he's loud for me.
Different options.
Do the campaign.
Local events.
Couch co-op.
Endgame.
PvP. It almost doesn't end.
And we are so close.
Sometimes it sounds. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really
it's
been.
a developer interview. I didn't watch this. I'm gonna watch this.
I haven't been streaming that much lately. I've been kind of off.
It's coming out next year, man.
It's crazy to think this game's coming out next year.
I really hope that they listen to people in the community about like feedback and shit.
I hope so too. I don't know.
And I also really hope that they don't have in like microtransaction bullshit. I'm gonna watch this. See, like this is what I thought about it, right? Like that was my face, bro. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, it didn't even work. That was my face. I put out a video about this.
Why D2 style graphics with D2 shading? No, it's gonna be.
Everything that I've seen about this game.
It's D2 style graphics.
I actually like
with.
it a lot. I love how they blended religion and mythology. I find it to.
Hold on, dude. It's going to be D2 style graphics with D3 visual combat, like the same combat as Diablo 3. Not the same, but you know, close to it.
To be very compelling and very interesting. I'm super excited about it, but the truth
like
is
fast paced,
I am probably
I guess.
more excited about PoE because PoE has had a better track. PoE 2 has had a better track record of listening to the players and developing a dynamic game. Blizzard has not done that.